Skin specifics. The skin is the largest and one of the most important organs of the body. Okay, it covers about 3,000 square inches, which is about 2 square yards. It weighs 6 to 9 pounds. And what it does is it protects your muscles, your bones, and your nerves. And it also is a barrier against the environment. Healthy skin should be free of any visible signs of disease, infection, or injury. Healthy skin is slightly moist, soft and flexible, smooth and fine-grained, has a surface that is slightly acidic, has an immune response that reacts quickly to organisms that touch or try to enter it. So that is healthy skin. Skin specifics continued. Continued pressure on the skin causes calluses. Appendages of the skin include your hair, nails, and sudoriferous, which is your sweat gland, and your sebaceous gland, which is your oil gland. The skin of the scalp has a larger and deeper hair follicle to accommodate for the larger hair ends, hair on the head. Sorry. The skin is composed of two main divisions. You've got your epidermis and your dermis. Your epidermis is the outermost, thinnest layer of the skin. It contains no blood vessels, but has many nerve endings. The epidermis is made of 5 layers. So your first layer is your stratum corneum, okay, which is also called the horny layer of the outermost layer of the epidermis. Its scale-like cells are constantly shedding and being replaced. Cells contain protein, keratin. Cells combine with lipids, which are fats, to make the stratum corneum a protective, water-resistant layer. The complex of lipids between the cells is also known as your barrier function. The purpose of the barrier function is to keep the skin moist by preventing water evaporation and to guard against irritants penetrating into the skin's surface. Your next layer of the skin is your stratum lucidum, which is called the clear layer or the transparent layer. It's right underneath your stratum corneum. It consists of small cells through which light passes through. This layer is thicker on the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Your next layer is your stratum granulosum. It's also known as your granule layer. It is the layer of the epidermis that is composed of cells that look like granules and are filled with keratin. The cells die as they are pushed to the surface to replace dead cells that are shed from the stratum corneum. So your skin is constantly reproducing. Next one is your stratum spinosum, the spiny layer. It's just above the stratum germativium. The spiny layer is where the process of the skin starts the shedding, of the cell shedding. Then you have your last layer, which is your stratum germativium. It's the deepest layer of the epidermis. This is a live layer of the epidermis that produces new epidermal cells and is responsible for the growth of the epidermis. It contains special cells called melanocytes, which produce the dark skin pigment called melanin. Then we have the dermis. The dermis is the underlying layer, inner layer of the skin. You have the papillary layer, and this is the outer layer of your dermis, laying directly beneath your epidermis. It contains small cone-shaped projections called papillae of elastin tissues that point outward to the epidermis. Some papillae contain loop capillaries, and others contain small epidermal structures called tactile corpuscles. with the nerve endings that are sensitive to touch and pressure. This layer also contains melanocytes, the pigment-producing cells. The top of the papillary layer where it joins the epidermis is called the epidermal-dermal junction. You need to know that. Then we have the reticular layer. This is the deeper layer of the dermis that supplies the skin with all of its oxygen and nutrients. It contains the following structures within its network, and you're going to need to know these. Your fat cells, your sudoriferous glands, your blood vessels, your hair follicle, lip vessels, arrector pili muscles, sebaceous glands, and your nerve endings. After that, you have your subcutaneous tissues. This is a fatty layer found below your epidermis, and it's also called your adipose or your subcutaneous tissue. This varies in thickening according to your age, your sex, and your general health. It gives smoothness and contour to your body, and it also contains fats for energy and acts as a protective cushion for your outer skin. Then we have the fluids of the skin, which is your blood and your lymph. Your blood delivers your nutrients and your oxygens to the skin, and it takes away cellular waste products and carbon dioxide. Your nutrients are molecules, not muscles, for that form food, such as your protein, your carbs, and your fats. These nutrients are necessary for cell life, repair, and growth. Then you have your lymph, which is a clear fluid of the body that bathes the skin cells. It removes toxins and cellular waste. Say that fast 5 times. And have an immune function that help protect the skin and body against disease. Network of blood and arteries and lymph vessels in the subcutaneous tissue send the smaller branches of hair papillae, hair follicle, and your skin glands.